Welcome to another video. So working on the Jag today, and if you've got one of these or you've got any Land Rover, Jaguar, don't know about Fords, but have the same gearbox, 6-speed, ZF, I think, gearbox. If you've had a problem changing gears, sometimes they stick in gear. My one sticks in first, going first to second, it goes with a hell of a bang if I don't pull away gently. A lot of the time it's to do with the gearbox oil and the filter. Now, I changed it when I got the car about 4 years ago, and it helped the problem massively, but it started doing it again. And I did have it in mind to change it a bit more frequently. I was going to change it after a year or two. It's now 4 years and I haven't done it yet. So first thing I've got to do, as you can see, the car is on the ramp. I'm going to put the car up in the air and we'll drain the oil out, drain the old oil, have a look at how dirty it is. I'm expecting it to be rather muddy. And then we'll take the plastic, it's got a plastic sump, which is where the filter's housed. So I'll take that off, have a look at the condition of that. And then we'll chuck the new one on, and then I'll show you the bleed procedure for the gearbox. Okie dokie. So, looking under here, this is the gearbox sump. And yeah, like I said, it's plastic. You can see I have replaced this before. It's not a genuine one, this is a man one. That's the man part number if you want it. But it is simply a case, undo this bung here, little Allen, I think it's an 8 or 10. And all the oil drain out. As you can see, mine's actually started leaking just there. You can make that out. And then it's just a case of undoing all these screws, and there are a lot of them, all the way around. All the way around there, all the way along there. And then this will come down. And inside that is I'll show you when it comes off, but there's a filter in the bottom and there's a couple of little magnets so we can look at how much metal swarf has been collected. I'm thinking probably quite a lot, knowing my luck. Yeah, and then we'll get that all apart. Now, I will show you more when we come to it, but up here, you see just there is, let's move the light. There's a little Allen screw there, a little Allen bung. Now that is the fill hole. That's where you fill the gearbox up from. And in Jaguar's unique wisdom, they decided to make it really inaccessible. So, somewhere here, I have made a tool. There it is. So that is, oh, it is an 8. They are 8s, by the way. That is an 8mm Allen bit that I have carefully manufactured down so that you can put it in and then put a 10mm spanner on this end. That's the only way I've ever been able to do these. So, again, I'll show you when we get to that point. I did have one the other day. I had a really long spanner, 10mm spanner. So a ratchet on one end and just a ring end on the other end, and it was so tight, the one I was doing, that it snapped the spanner. So be warned, but that's the only one I've had problems with. So seeing as we've had this one apart fairly recently, like I said about 4 years ago, we should be okay. Alright, first thing we need to do is actually undo this drain bung, which is actually a 10mm, not an 8. The other one, the fill one, is an 8, this one's a 10. Make it loose and I'll undo the rest by hand. That should be alright. Can I get my fingers on it? Yes. Just about. Alright, let's move that filter before I get a bit of splashback. Oh, there we go, let's see what colour this is. You can lose this bung, by the way. The new ones normally come with a new one. Do check first, but mine does. Okay, that is brown. Not quite as bad as I expected, to be fair. But it's brown. see, I've got the pan off, still leaking oil. It's coming out a little bit cleaner now, thankfully. As you can see up there, you've got the valve bodies. Now, the cause of the sticky gear changes, if you change your oil and it's still sticking, normally it's those valve bodies that are at fault. They're not too expensive online and you can replace them individually. So if you know which one's which, you can, or you can get them as a whole pack. Because the gearbox oil change worked for me last time, I'm just gonna try and change the filter and the oil again and see how we go. But if necessary, I'll have to take it off and change them. Right, as you can see, that oil is pretty manky. But the good news is that these bits on the front here are the magnets that collect the dirt, and that's not too bad. It's literally just a little light smear of it, so I'm actually quite happy with that. This section here is the filter. As you can see, it is all built into, it's a bit hard to see actually, but it's all built into the pan. I'm trying to get not any splashes on the camera. And then you've got the tube there that you must make sure the seal comes out, and you must make sure the new seal goes in. Normally comes on the pan anyway, and yeah, the seal goes up and the tube go up in that hole. And that is a automatic gearbox if you haven't seen one before. Literally just a confusion of oil channels and oil ways. So yeah, the only thing left now then is to get my new filter and bolt it back in. Apparently this one is slightly wrong. It doesn't quite match up with the engine code, but it's the same part number that was on the old one, so it will do for me. There we go, nice shiny new filter. Exactly the same as the old one, but dry. You see, I've left this one dripping. Where's my light? So I've left this one dripping for pretty much all day while I've been doing other stuff at work. You can see a difference in these magnets pickup. So that's the old one. And the new ones are totally clear, so when they turn, didn't know that. So yeah, I'm going to shove this back on now, and there's no torque settings actually for the screws, so I'm going to try and do them opposites. So sort of I'll put them all in by hand and then sort of nip up the middle ones and work my way to either side just so it tightens up evenly. I'm just going to do them hand tight. I don't want to go over tighten them, so they might be hard to undo in the future. And then this bit here, like I said, you want to make sure that I've got a new seal on there, which I have, so all good to go in. Right, they're all tight, and I've started off in the middle here, and then done the same on the other side, and then both rear the ones, next one back, and the next one forwards, and then gone round until they're all tight. And then what I tend to do is just go around afterwards, just make sure that they are all done up tight, which they are. So next thing is my modified Allen bit that I need to, I'll move the light, need to get up in here. It's a bit fiddly up in there like that. You can see there's literally room for my finger between that and the chassis rail, between the gearbox. And I'm hoping that this, my new spanner, new 10mm spanner, is going to be long enough. Maybe the light that's blinding you a bit. Nope, so I need to get another spanner to extend it. Right, so do that, and then this is either going to work or it's going to snap my spanner, or the spanner will fall on the floor. Let's try again. Ooh. Now I've pulled the bit out. This is the problem with doing stuff like this one-handed. Right, there's that. Spanner on there. Let's try for a third time. Spanner on. There we go. Might just slightly smaller spanner. Oh no, that's actually undone it. That is loose. It is loose. So if you're doing this at home without a modified tool, good luck. Is that finger loose? No, not yet. Let's use the open end. There we go. So shouldn't get anything come out here because we just drained the whole gearbox. Oh, another top tip, if you do end up modifying a tool like this, before you pull the whole bung out, take the tool out. The number of times I do these gearboxes, and then I pull the tool out before pulling the bung out. Sorry, I don't pull the tool out before pulling the bung out, and then it gets jammed up against the chassis rail. So, yeah, that's out, it's all dry. What I'm going to do now is set up my tool somewhere. There we are, right, it's a bit dirty, but I need to change the oil that's in it. But that feeds up inside the gearbox. Fill that with gearbox oil. Apparently they take about 7 litres. I've got a 5 litre jug and 2 single litre jugs. So I'm going to put all of the 5 litre jug in, because from experience they don't normally take that much unless you're doing a full flush. So I'll put the 5 litres in there, and then I'll go through the pain in the arse process for bleeding it. Got my little setup here, so I've got that on the stool so I can pump it from there, and the hose goes up into the fill bung on the gearbox, and it is literally a case of pumping it until the oil dribbles out the hole. Right, that is now, as you can see, it's running out. So I'm going to turn the tap off. I did have to change the end just because it was a better fit. Yeah, so I'll wait for that to level off a little bit, and then we'll put the bung back in. And then the next thing we've got to do, let's put it back in there now. Next thing we're going to have to do is to run the car, start the car up, run through the gears. So put it in each gear. I think it says normally just to go through park to drive, but stay in each gear for like 2 to 3 seconds. I normally go through, I don't know if it makes any difference, but I go through the whole J gate as well. So I got like second, third, fourth, fifth drive. Go through the whole lot, stay in each gear for a few seconds at a time. And then put it back up in the air. We've got to plug it into diagnostics to measure the gearbox oil temperature. If you haven't got a diagnostics computer, or you've got one even if it doesn't measure gearbox oil temperature, you can use an infrared temperature thermometer, like people measure your COVID temperature with on the sump. It's obviously not quite as accurate, but would do the job. It needs to be between 30 and 40 degrees. So once it gets to 30, undo that bung, which I've left finger loose, so I can undo it without any special tools. It won't be stupidly tight. Undo the bung, and then continue filling it as we were with this, or with whatever process you've got for doing it. And you keep going till it dribbles out again, put the bung in, and that's it. It should be all good to go. Right, so back in the car. So first thing, start her up. Make sure the radio's off so you can actually hear me. Yeah, radio's off. Right, so foot on the brake, and then we'll go reverse. Hold that for a few seconds. Neutral. Drive. And then, like I said, I do tend to go up through the J gate as well. I don't know if that actually makes any difference or not, because automatic gearboxes confuse the hell out of me. Manual ones are bad enough. And then I want to go back through again, just on my way back. Hold each one for a few seconds. And hear the difference in engine tone, obviously, as it's taking up drive. And then back into park. Let's move the seat back, give myself more room. Now my diagnostics, you can use, a lot of diagnostics will have these, but I've had problems with the S-Type R's getting into the engine management ECUs, and the rest of them have been fine. So I bought this, which is a Foxwell scanner. It was about £100, and although it says, I don't know if you can see the screen actually, there you go. Although it says Land Rover, you go into it, it does actually come up with Jaguar. Mine won't do the smart VIN number, so I've got to put the car in manually. But it's just a case of scrolling through. It also reckons the earliest is 2004, but obviously mine's a 2003. Which one it is now? I think it's under diagnosis, control modules, and if you can see, if the camera will see, you've got all these control modules, and there are loads. If I scroll up, you've got absolutely loads, literally a control module for everything on the car. We want the transmission control module there, so we'll enter, and then live data. And once it's loaded, I can feel my misfires coming back. I might need to get a set core patch for this at some point. I've not long had spark plugs, so right, custom list, that's what we want. And so you got everything that the gearbox ECU will need. Did I say ceramic? Yeah, ceramic. Everything the gearbox ECU will need a signal from. There you go, so oil temperature. They will all come up on there. So currently it is at 30 degrees, which is perfect. It's exactly what we need. So I shall carefully climb out my car. And what I'm also going to do is bring that out there so I can keep an eye on it. Because what we don't want is the oil temperature going too high. Still at 31 degrees, which is good, back up in the air, so I will remove that bung. And be very, very careful if you are going to do this, because obviously the exhaust is right next to my hand. So do that, as you can see, nothing comes out. And it's literally simply a case of continue filling until something comes out. There you go, you can see we're just starting to have a dribble come out there. And I'm going to just go one more pump, just make sure that's not just me. Yeah, we've got a steady stream there. Oh, as I pull that out, we get a massive stream. So we'll quickly put the bung back in. There we go. All that's left then is to clean up my mess, put all this crap away and test drive it. Right, so I'm just pulling off the estate here at work. So all we're looking for is nice smooth gear changes. Like I said before, it got caught up between first and second and used to change with a bang. There's a gap here. Second, third. It's like going front now decides to move over. So the other thing we're looking for is slipping, so it's a bit like clutch slip in higher gears. Ignore the grinding, that'll be in another video, that'll be in a later video. And then torque converter lock up, there we go. Yeah, still pulls. Happy with that. So, fixed gearbox, tick that off the list. Hopefully I'll work for a little bit longer. One thing you didn't see in the video, just in case anyone wants to question that in the comments, I did tighten up the fill plug on the gearbox. Just thought I'd put that in there before we get any comments saying you forgot to fill up the bung, forgot to tighten up the bung. Again, that's just hand tight. Hopefully I can get it undone again next time. But as always, thank you for watching. If you want to hit a comment, chuck it in the boxes below. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't done already, and I will see you next week.